Oh my God, you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Have you been here long?
No, not long.
You're up early?
You're not?
Why didn't you wake me?
I know you need to sleep.
I wouldn't have minded.
I wasn't sure after last night.
You were the one who was out all night. I was in bed by midnight while you were slumming it in one day.
Ready for breakfast?
What is it? Maybe later.
You like this?
I need coffee.
I'll make it.
I'm out of milk.
Thought you might be.
Look at you. Perfect housewife. I'll never live up to your standards.
You missed some good conversation last night.
What, when you were all drunk?
No one was drunk.
Who was there?
George stayed, and his wife.
The Erhu player.
I'm not sure what she plays.
Isn't she famous? I heard she performs on the mainland.
She didn't say anything about working in China.
She probably didn't feel comfortable. You might be hardcore yellow. Really, you're more like a light blue.
You know that's not true.
So, George and Wei Feng. Who else?
Tomo, of course.
Poor guy. If it was my gallery, I'd lock the doors and you could all drink in the street.
He enjoyed it. He said it was like a European salon.
Has Tomo been to Europe?
He lived there for 3 years. What, do you think he was just a villager who decided to open an art gallery?
I didn't say he was a villager.
He's humble. He doesn't advertise himself. He just moved back in with his parents to help on their farm so they wouldn't have to sell it to developers. Problem is, there's no infrastructure for farmers to deliver their produce directly to the restaurants. And it's all organic and locally sourced. Do you know that 90% of vegetables are imported from the mainland? So Tomo set up a self-help cooperative with some other farms in the community. And they're building an irrigation system with no government funding, so they don't go into debt. Tomo's the opposite of your typical artist who talks about social engagement and sustainability, then takes the grant money and buggers off to the next artist in residence position at some research centre run by the Illuminati. You don't meet people like him these days. He's a real, authentic, grassroots Chinese.
So he's from China. What? Wait, he speaks Cantonese, but maybe he's from Guangzhou.
People like Tomo don't just abandon their homeland without a good reason. You should talk to him.
He doesn't talk to me. I can't understand his accent.
What accent?
His English accent.
You speak Cantonese well enough.
He switches to English as soon as I open my mouth.
That's because...
What? Say it.
No.
I know what you were going to say.
I was going to say, your Cantonese is better than you think. Just need to build confidence.
Who else is there?
Have you met Sheen?
Who?
Tomo's new assistant.
What does she look like?
Long, black hair, slightly tanned, Chinese.
Oh, yeah. I thought she was Japanese.
She's studying fine art and trying to get into the art world. I said that's like trying to get into acting through set design.
You're being weird.
You know what was weird? Was you leaving early.
You could have asked me to stay.
I don't think George had to ask his wife.
I'm not your wife.
I drove here in rush hour. Did your shopping, made you breakfast.
Is this one of your towers?
I cancelled a meeting to be here. I've rearranged my life to make sure you have a safe place to stay in Hong Kong as long as you need.
If this is about money...
You should have been there with me. You know what they think about us?
I'm not the one who's married.
Oh, so you're not responsible?
I've never asked you to leave your wife.
You've implied.
You've never even stayed the night.
Do you want me to?
Why do I have to say it?
Things already look bad enough.
And talking to Shin makes you look better.
I talked to her 5 minutes.
Didn't think she was your type.
I think she's interesting. She reminds me of how I was when I was a student. Remember when we used to stay up all night talking about Chinese art and history? And I was trying to impress you, but that's more than 13 dynasties. You could spend a life and scratch the surface.
I'm going to Iceland.
What?
I got accepted into a residency. It's this artist-led community in a converted barn. Completely off-grid. It's an amazing opportunity.
When did you find out?
I didn't think I'd get in. They only take 6 artists a year. The people who've got in before have been shortlisted for the Turner Prize.
Can't believe this.
It's only for 3 months.
And then what?
I could come back.
If there's anything left to come back to.
China won't destroy Hong Kong.
Not China. The CCP. They already have. The Hong Kong I love no longer exists.
You're thriving under communist rule. You have your practice, your university position. I don't even have 3 stars on my Hong Kong ID card. This is not an academic exercise. I'm about to turn 30 and I don't have an agent.
You were so passionate about Hong Kong.
I was. Until you said it was pointless.
It is
and
pointless.
I agree.
But that doesn't mean you can just leave in the
Fighting
middle.
against the inevitable for something that's broken.
Are we broken?
What do you want from me, Calvin?
A life. A family.
You have a family.
With you. That's all I want.
Why don't you ask Shin to start a family? Then you could have real Chinese babies.
Amy, please.
No! You are not doing this to me. You don't get to switch sides when it's convenient. I was out on the front lines and you never came out with me. Not once. You've never taken a risk in your life.
It wasn't the right time.
For who?